It's a Saturday afternoon, and we have some gymnastics for you here inside McGurk Arena. Thanks for joining us on the Chippewa Sports Network. I'm Riley Edwards, sitting right next to Ashley Bueller, and we have a quad meet in Mount Pleasant this afternoon. All Mid-American Conference teams, including Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, and Ball State. And it should be a fun-filled day of gymnastics.
Yeah, this is going to be the last meet of the regular season. This meet is really just all about last-minute tune-ups and kind of getting that confidence up before they go to the MAC championships next weekend. And this meet will be good practice for that because you have 4 teams out on the floor at the same time. This is kind of the environment that they're going to have next weekend at the MAC championship. So it's going to be an exciting one.
And all these teams coming in here looking to improve their rankings heading into this postseason. You mentioned the MAC championships coming up. But you look at some of the rankings of these teams here today for this quad meet. Central Michigan sitting at 26th, Western Michigan at 29th, Eastern at 32nd, and then Ball State at 34th. All of those looking to improve and increase their postseason chances.
So after MAC championships will come regionals, and regionals has the top 36 teams in the nation. So as it stands right now, all of these teams are in good shape to make it to regionals, but of course, it's not over until it's over. So they want to keep focusing on improving their team score, and all these teams are going to be looking for a big score today. I would say at this point in the season, they're going to be shooting to that 196 range because all these teams are capable of it, but only Western and Central have actually done it so far this season. So that's what we'll be looking for today.
Well, Central Michigan coming off a 196.425 in their last meet, and that was also a quad meet. So back-to-back quad meets for the Chippewas.
Yeah, and a great performance. That's obviously a season high, but also the highest score in the MAC. So really impressive. They also posted season highs on vault, bars, and floor. So they're looking really good and performing exactly how they want to be performing at this point in the season.
Well, to start this first rotation inside McGurk Arena, Central Michigan will start on the vault. Eastern Michigan will be on the bars, Western Michigan on the beam, and Ball State on the floor. All 4 events rolling at once. On the vault for Central Michigan, it will be Kennedy Ray Johnson to get it started. At Eastern Michigan, Carolyn Roberts on the bars. On the beam, Western Michigan will be Ronnie Binstock, and then on the floor for Ball State, Hannah Ruthberg. There's Kennedy Johnson.
So really nice triangle full. Small hop on that landing, but a good push off the table. That's a great vault to get them started. This is a really great event for CMU. They have a really talented lineup, currently ranked 16th in the nation on this event, so it's definitely their strong suit.
A talented lineup on that vault with some youth sprinkled in, some seniority in there as well. It's something they hope to improve on as time goes on.
Absolutely.
Right back to the vault, Elizabeth Casserone. The next one up for the Chippewas.
So this is Kara Roberts from EMU to get them started over on bars. It's a really nice routine going so far. Just got the dismount left. It's a double back with a full twist. Oh, almost got that stuck landing, just a small hop forward. But a great routine to get them going.
Now looking at Ronnie Binstock on the beam for Western Michigan.
I believe she just has the dismount left. Oh, excuse me, switch half. Pretty good job on that. Showed good amplitude on that lead. And a beautiful vault successor. Got a stuck landing there. The team's really excited about that.
Mentioned some of that youth in that first rotation for Central Michigan, and there's one coming through. Miss Hannah Ruthberg on the floor for Ball State.
Right hand spin Rudy to straddle jump. Very nicely done.
Sydney Williams gearing up for the vault for the Chippewas.
And this is going to be a really big vault. She does your trinkle full, but as you're going to see here in a moment. She has lots of power on this vault.
Kennedy Johnson scoring for Central Michigan on the vault at 9.75 to get it started for the Chippewas. No other scores currently in from the rest of the rotations. I believe Sydney Williams waiting for that score to come in from Elizabeth Cesarone, who had the nice vault we just saw a moment ago. And now Williams ready to go.
So you're going to be looking straight arms under the table, a good push, lots of power there. You see the big hop back on the landing. So that's going to be at least a 10th deduction, maybe a little bit more. Such a powerful vault, though. This is Hayden Crossan on bars for EMU. My favorite part of her routine is this release move right here. Big Tkachev. Check out the height on that. Beautifully done. She's following the 9.675 from Kara Roberts. Dismount, double layout. Comes in a little bit short and had to take that hop on the landing, but still a good routine.
Now it's Danny Petrusik on the beam for Western.
Yeah, she just came off on her series, so she's going to want to regroup here and focus on finishing this routine strong. You're allowed to drop the lowest score, so this is obviously going to be the one that Western wants to drop. It's not easy to start your meet with a fall and only the second spot in the lineup, but it wants to finish it strong because their team might still have to count depending on what comes after her, so the pressure's on her teammates a little bit here. Very nicely done. Again, a hop on the landing, that's one area they're going to want to work on improving for next weekend, just to kind of get those bonus tenths.
Now it's Olivia Ostendorf on the floor for Ball State.
This is going to be her second tumbling pass. Punch front to a Rudy. Great control on that landing. The gymnasts are allowed to take a step back. This has to be a controlled landing. So you want the front foot to stay planted on the ground, and then you take a step back with your second foot. Finish with a double tuck. Great finish on that. And a huge ball. I believe that was Katie Kowalski for CMU, the freshman. She's been so good and so consistent on this event this season. Has gone as high as 9.9. I think that's going to be pretty close. Not a whole lot to deduct on that.
One of those freshmen that Christine McDonald's talked about a few times being in a big piece of that lineup.
And that was Raisa Boris, the freshman for Eastern Michigan. Had her chest down pretty low on that landing, so that's going to be a deduction.
A lot of those scores rolling in now. Looking at the scores on the vault for Central Michigan, Cesarone comes in with a 9.875, Sydney Williams 9.725, and then Demarinis 9.825.
Some pretty impressive scores. So far we've seen all Yurchenko fulls, and that starts from a 9.95, so the judges aren't taking a whole lot off on this vault, so it's really nice to see.
Well, looking at the floor, Ruthberg for Ball State will come in with a 9.775, and then on the bars for Eastern, Roberts with a 9.675, Cross 9.775.
So here goes Deanna Demers. Another really explosive ball for CMU. Again, the hop on the landing, but that's about the only deduction. It's pretty perfect as far as technique and form in the air. Has a career high of 9.9 on that event.
Well, she's the anchor there on the vault today for Central Michigan, so looks like it could be good scores all the way through.
So this is Josephine Thomas on beam for Western. Hip handspring layout, step out. Very solid on that landing. Full turn, a little bobble on that. Full turn is one of the requirements on the beam. front aerial. A little bit off on that as well. You saw that back leg come up. She's doing a good job of keeping her composure here. And that was Molly Paris there, the disbanded this one for CMU. Great routine. This is Marissa Nichak for Ball State. Strong finish for her. Lots of gymnastics going on right now.
A lot. Everyone moving quickly. The scores for Central Michigan now final. They gave Katie Kowalski a 9.85, and Hannah Demers finishes with a 9.825. So a 9.725 from Sydney Williams, actually the score that will be dropped for Central Michigan there. Not usually who you see dropping the score, but still a good round all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're dropping a 9.725, that's how you know you're pretty good on that event. Most teams would love to count that score.
For Ball State on the floor, mentioned the Ruthberg 9.775. Austin Dorf coming in with a 9.850. And then on the bars, Boris with a 9.75. Still waiting that score from Paris. And then Western Michigan on the beam on 9.7. And then Petrosic coming in with a 9.050.
You're getting a look here now at Jada Rondo, the senior. Easter looking to drop that 9.675 you mentioned in the leadoff spot, but she's phenomenal on this end. She's definitely one of the athletes that I think Easter can definitely count on to go up and get a big score. She's a line change to a Jaeger, connected directly down to the low bar, overshoot. Got just a dismount left. She's going to do a double layout. Usually is pretty good at finding this landing. Let's see. Just a small hop back today. What a great routine. Exactly what they're looking for from their senior leader.
Paris' score for Eastern on the bars at 9.825. And now we're waiting for Taylor Waldo on the floor.
Really nice series there. Backhand spin layup step out. This is Sarah Morvansky. Oh, and she's off on the side aerial. Just took off completely crooked. And when you take off not in line with the beam, there's almost no way that you could save it.
And we saw Petrosic fall on the beam as well, so they were hoping to get rid of that score.
Switch lead to layout step out into a pike jump. Looks just a little bit nervous up there. I believe she meant to connect those elements. There's a little bit of hesitation. Dismount, back handspring, 1.5 twists. Strong finish, but definitely not the kind of performance that Boston's wanting to have on beam. Rudy, lots of power on that. You see that bounce back on the landing. It's going to be a deduction. Anytime you take a step any bit more than shoulder width apart, the judges are going to deduct.
The score for Nichik before Waldo, 9.825. Rondu coming in with a 9.875 on the bars for Eastern Michigan. Then looking at the beam for Western, Thomas with a 9.8, but we just saw Morvansky just a few moments ago get a little uneven on that beam.
This is Courtney Diesel, the senior. I believe she just remounted the bar. She did come off. Really pretty double layout there. Finished the routine. Did get the stuck landing. But I do believe she fell on that routine. Didn't catch it here on the broadcast, but she's normally so solid on that, but on the second one she does. Let's see what the score is for that one.
Still waiting for that score from Waldo to come in on the floor. Central Michigan, the first one's done with their rotation on the vaults.
That's what's nice about starting on vault. It's really quick, one and done. All the other events, you have all these other skills that you got to worry about. Vault is just one skill.
Well, the last few times we've been on the air together, Ashley, it's been bars that have held some things up.
Yep. The judges love to take their time.
Here's Megan Teeter on the floor.
Punch front full. Pretty good landing on that. She goes for the second pass. Double pike. A little bit of movement on that landing. She can step back. She goes to front foot, move a little bit. So just little things like that the judges are definitely going to be looking for. A lot of control on that landing on a jump series. One more tumbling pass to go. Wants to get this one on his feet. Roll up in front. Dances right out of it. Pretty good routine. Definitely going to help her keep that momentum going over there on the floor. That was Peyton Murphy that is dismounted for Western. I was kind of keeping my eye on both routines at once. Pretty good job from her. She actually has the program record on beam. She posted that this season, 9.95. So she's a phenomenal athlete. She's an all-rounder, but really stands out on beam, I'd say.
Well, two good routines there. One for Ball State, one for Western. One on the floor, one on the beam. Do have to say, big fan of the music choice on the floor there for that last routine for Megan Teeter. Look at some of those scores. Mentioned all those scores coming in on the floor on 9-8. So just waiting for the Teeter score on the floor exercise. And now we look at Eastern Michigan on the bars.
So this is Charlotte Reynolds. This is an exhibition. So her routine's not going to count towards the team score. Charlotte is an athlete that has been in the lineup before. She was actually in most of the season last year, but this is just an opportunity for her to get out there in the competition setting and get a routine out under the pressure, under the lights. Just in case they need her, she can step in. That's what that exhibition spot is all about.
That last score for Eastern with Bees hold on the bars at 8-5-2-5. You mentioned when we flipped there, remounting the bars, and that looks like the score that will be dropped for Eastern Michigan. For Western on the beam, or Vansky with a 9-2-5. Still waiting for scores on Murphy.
All right, Riley. Now this is a routine that I'm excited to see. This is one of my favorite routines in the whole NCAA. A lot of fun here. This is Claudia Goico. And we've moved over to beam exhibition, I believe. So Claudia opened with a double pike, really good landing. She is just such a performer on this event. I love the music. I love how into the routine she gets. You'll see a fun part coming up here where her teammates are going to do it as well. One and a half twist to punch front. Great landing on that. This is my favorite part right here. She throws something up in the air. Her teammates go looking for it, and then she hits the wall. Fast tumbling pass, double pike. Oh, came a little bit short on that. See the chest was down and the step forward. Definitely not the best landing. She has a career high of 9.925 on this event. Checks her pulse. Still a good routine though, and a great performance.
Once again, Claudia Goico on the floor. Megan Teeter on the floor for Ball State comes with a 9.825. Murphy on the beam for Western Michigan, 9.875. So still looking to drop that 9.050 from Petrosic.
Sandra Osada, who's going to be going in the exhibition spot for Ball State. Some last-minute corrections. Coach. Gymnastics is a very mental sport. It's almost just as much about the mental aspect as it is the actual gymnastics. Some last-minute cues there. First pass, great landing on that. Excellent control. Sandra has been on the floor before for Ball State, kind of like I mentioned, over on bars. Just kind of an opportunity for her to get up there and keep her feet warm. That way, they do have to take her. She's good to go.
Welcome back inside McGurk Arena, where we have some Mid-American Conference gymnastics. Riley Edwards, Ashley Bueller with you here on the Chippewa Sports Network. And after that first rotation, Ashley, Central Michigan, Ball State, both above a 49. CMU 49.125 and Ball State 49.075.
Yeah, pretty good start to the meet. Anytime a team goes over that 49 mark on an event, that's exactly where they want to be. That's a pretty good sign. So CMU and Ball State, they're both going to be happy with how they started this meet and just kind of want to keep that momentum going.
Eastern Michigan came close, a 48.950 in that first rotation, and then Western Michigan on the bars with a 48.450. Looking forward to this second rotation. It will be Ball State on the vault, Central Michigan on the bars, Eastern Michigan on the beam, and Western Michigan on the floor. Just a few more seconds left on their touch warm-ups here inside McGurk. What are you looking for, Ashley, in this next rotation?
Well, I'm looking for clean hit performances from all of the teams, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Eastern Michigan on beam. They broke their program record a couple weeks ago, so this is their strongest event. So if they're going to pick up some momentum here, I think this is going to be a good place for them.
Well, we'll start on the bars with Adriana Bustello for CMU.
Really nice release move there, connected right down to the low bar. Doing skills in combination like that gives you some bonus tenths. Double tuck. He's going for that stuck landing. Did take this couple steps back, a little shuffle, but pretty good routine to get them going. Well, this is Michaela Stuckey, sophomore in the leadoff position for EMU. This is the only event that she's done this season, but really, really good at it, really confident when she's up there. And Coach Minnesota likes her in this spot. She's usually pretty consistent, and that's exactly what you're looking for in your leadoff. Really nice series there. Backhand spring layout, step out. Good position there in the jumps. A little bit of a bobble on that landing. Judges are looking for that 180-degree split every time they do a jump or leap. Really nice layout step out to Sassone. Just got the dismount left. She's usually pretty good at sticking this landing. Sometimes goes a little bit crooked. Let's see. Pretty good there and does get the stuck landing. Excellent routine to get them going.
Now to the floor, where Western has Sarah Morvansky.
Came in a little bit short on that double tuck. She was a little bit low on the landing, had her chest down. The judges are going to take a few tenths for that. Over the bars, this is Sierra DeMarinis for CMU. Has a good routine going so far. Really unique dismount, puts one foot on the bar at a time, front flip forward, gets a stuck landing.
Scores on the bars for Central Michigan. Bustelo comes in with a 9-7 in that leadoff spot for CMU. Look at Hudson on the vault for Ball State, a 9-7-7-5 to get it started. Those are the only two scores in the scorebook at the moment.
This is Molly Paris. She missed last season due to an injury, so EMU is really loving having her back in their lineup. She's a great athlete. Here she goes for her series. Backhand spring, layup, step out. Great job on that. She's following the 9-7-7-5 from Michaela Stuckey in the leadoff spot. Side aerial, and she comes off, is really fighting to stay on there. She had her chest down too low and off to the side, and really hard to save it once you're in that position. Dismounts with the 1.5 twist. Great landing, but definitely the routine that Eastern's gonna wanna drop.
Now we move to Western Michigan. On the floor, it's Danny Petrusik.
Opens with a really clean double tuck. Great landing. Good height on that as well. This is Marissa Nychak. Yurchenko 1.5. That's one of the only 10-0 start values we've seen so far in the competition. Very good. Didn't have the best landing, but impressive to see the difficulty nonetheless. This is Ashley Valgucci. And another hit routine for CMU. Did take a step forward on the landing. Did a great job.
Some of those scores coming in, 9-7-7-5 for Demarinis. On the bars, we look at Austin Dorff with a 9-5-7-5 for Ball State on the vault. And now we're looking back at the floor at Western Michigan. It was Morvansky who got them started with a 9-6-5-0, and now here's Petrusik.
Double pike to finish 13. Needed to show a little bit more control on that landing. Did take a hop back. Those are just little areas that the judges are looking to deduct for.
Scores so far on the beam for Eastern Michigan: Stuckey with a 9.775, Paris with a 9.250. And now we're looking at Kennedy Johnson. And now the beam with Eastern Michigan.
This is Bree Price, the senior. This is the only event she does this season. Fun fact about Bree, she actually started gymnastics when she was 8 years old. That's a little bit later in the game than you see. Usually these girls start when they're like 3 or 4, which is really, really young, but Bree was 8 when she started, and it's just great to see how she's evolved and grown in the sport. Really nice front toss to back handspring step out there. Overturned that full turn just a tad. Now this is Johnson on the bars for CMU. Really nice giant full into it to hot shot. Her feet, looks like they hit the bar. Really impressive that she's able to keep her momentum going. Winds it up now for the dismount. And a full twist and double tuck. Nails that landing. She's been so good at that this season, finding those landings. Love to see it. This is Stacy Harrison for Western. Double tuck, a little bit too much power. Looks like her feet almost touched that line. I don't know if she went over or not.
It was close.
So they're allowed to step on the line, but they can't go over it. So we'll have to see when the score comes up if she was actually over or not. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It's all about the angle. And even for the judges, you know, it's from where they're at, what they saw. Really huge Yurchenko full from Victoria Henry, the freshman from Ball State. Last pass, double pike, and she's definitely out of bounds on that one. You saw that foot go over the line. That's going to be a 10th deduction. A 10th for the step over the line as well as for the hop back, so she's going to get hit pretty hard on that one.
I think it makes it harder sometimes with that mat out there for the judges to tell if they're on the line, over the line.
Yeah. Like I said, it's all about what they see. Gymnastics is a subjective sport, so...
Now we're going back to the bars with Central Michigan, taking a look at their last 3 scores, all 9.775s between Demarinis, Beglucci, and Johnson. And now we're looking at Hammond.
Yep, so she's actually MAC Specialist of the Week. For this event right here, she got 9.925 last week. Pretty good routine. She did a great job hitting the handstands, just that hop on that landing. Over to the beam, Shannon Gregory. Beat jump to a sheep jump. Really nicely done. Takes her head back and her eyes off the beam on that jump. Makes it even more difficult. Series back handspring layup step out. Nicely done. Looks like she was moving a little bit, but was able to pull it back. Love that right there. That's actually called a tick-tock. It's not actually a skill that counts for, you know, it doesn't have a value. It doesn't actually count for her score, but just kind of cool looking. Dismount. 1.5 twists. Hop on the landing, but a pretty good routine. She looks pumped about it.
She was pumped. Her team was pumped the entire time, but now we'll check back in on the floor with Western.
And that is such a difficult pass. Rudy, so that's a 1.5 twist, punches, immediately does a full twist, and then the straddle jump out of that. A lot going on in that tumbling pass, but she did a great job. And another really nice vault for Ball State. Really nice body position on that Yurchenko full. It's definitely an area the judges deduct for. They want to see a nice open body position in the air rather than a closed hip good job on that. One more pass for Binstock. Double pike, comes in a little bit short. Needed to get a little bit more of a push off that floor to get up in the air to be able to get that completely right straight on top of her feet. But loved the difficulty on that first pass, really impressive.
Well, Ball State has finished up on the vault. Nijchik with a 9.5, a 9.725 for Schweikert. Henry, a 9.825, same thing for Slonim to finish it out for Ball State. Hammond, that last one we saw on the bars for CMU, a 9.650, and now it's Hannah Demers.
She's a fantastic all-arounder, but really shines on this event as well. Has a career high of a 9.95, so she can do really big things. Huge Takacha there to open up the routine. Be able to handstand, pretty good on that handstand. Finishes with the full twist and double tuck. I don't know, you think that's a stuck landing? It was pretty close. Not quite sure if I saw any feet movement on that. We'll have to see what the judges say about it. Over to beam, this is Hayden Crossan. Following a 9.9 from Shannon Gregory. I believe that's a career high for her. Hayden also has a career high of 9.9 on this event. Did that a little bit earlier in the season. Really pretty gymnast, got great toe point. Cartwheel, gainer layout full. Beautiful finish. Eastern's doing a good job to bounce back from that fall that they had in the second spot. Now this is Peyton Murphy for Western on floor.
Western so far on the floor, 9.650, 9.825, 9.7, and a 9.825.
Front tuck through to double back. A little bit of a scoop back on the landing. Has a career high of 9.925 on this event. Second pass, Rudy to straddle jump. Nice job on that. She actually missed last season, her freshman season, due to an injury. She had a neck injury, so pretty severe injury. Nice to see her work her way back from that and contributing in such a big way for the Broncos.
Not an easy time to come back either, going to a neck injury, and then all of a sudden a pandemic happens and you're not allowed to get into the gym for 5-6 months.
But she found her motivation and able to work her way back, so love to see it. Last pass. Round off, double pike, perfect landing on that. Exactly what you want to see. I mentioned the career high 9.925. This should be a big score as well.
Well, looking at some of those scores for Eastern Michigan on the beam, Stuckey at 9.775, Paris at 9.250. A 9.825 for Price. Gregory with a 9.9, and then the score just up on the board for Crossan, a 9.875.
Huge set of scores. So great to see them coming back strong from that fall. This is Jada Rondu. She can be so good on this event. Earlier this season, she posted a 9.95 on this event. She's the only one in EMU's program history to do that. She's going to go for a triple series here. The first one of these we've seen today. Back handspring, layout, step out. Very well done. Anytime you tumble down the length of the beam like that, it's so difficult. 3 elements in a row. If you're a little bit off on one, you could easily come off on the second or third, but she had no problems there. Straddle jump with a 3/4 turn, nicely done. This has been an excellent routine. Just going to be looking for a stuck landing here on the dismount. 1.5 twist. And the smallest hop forward on the landing, but still, that's going to be a big score for the Eagles.
And it's looking like for Eastern Paris with a 9.25. That may be the one to drop. Central Michigan with a good showing on the bars. Same for Ball State on the vaults. Their lowest score over there, a 9.5. We'll have to keep a 9.575 from Austendorf. And now back to the floor with Western Michigan. Ludwig for the finale.
Front tuck through to double back. Great job on that. Working through this routine nicely. Just got one more tumbling pass. And round off, double pike. Did a good job pulling that chest up on that landing. Strong routine to finish off the rotation for the Broncos on floor. So this is Caitlin Statler in the exhibition spot for Eastern. She's been out for the last couple of weeks dealing with a little bit of an injury. She's a phenomenal beam worker. Posted a career high 9.925 this season. Typically she would be in that lineup, but just working her way back. They're excited to have her back for the postseason. Just trying to ease back into it. She'll definitely be in the lineup at MAC Championships next week for sure.
Well, before that happened, the score up for Rondu, a 9.9. Allowing Eastern Michigan to drop the 9.250 from Paris earlier on. And that about does it for this rotation. Still waiting for that score for Ludwig on the floor. So we're moving on to the third rotation inside McGurk Arena. We'll take a short break, and we'll have it when we come back here on the Chippewa Sports Network. Back with the third rotation here from Central Michigan University inside Mirk Arena. Riley Edwards, Ashley Bueller with you here on CMUChippewas.com. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon, a championship Saturday. Central Michigan women's basketball bringing home the Mid-American Conference tournament. And now here at home, the CMU gymnastics team trying to win the quad meet they're hosting between Ball State, Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, and of course, Central Michigan. We made it through that second rotation, and Central Michigan is up there with a 98.050. Ball State a 97.8, 98.225 for Eastern, and then Western coming in with a 97.5.
Yeah, pretty impressive rotation, I think, for all the teams. EMU just .75 off their program record on beam. That's really impressive. And then got to give it to Hannah Demers coming through with that 9.9 in the anchor position on bars. Just .25 off her career high on that event. So good stuff going on in here.
Everybody trying to gear up for those MAC championships that happen in about a week, and also trying to boost their rankings to head into regionals as well. Made it through the first two rotations, just two left. In this third rotation, Western Michigan will be on the vaults, Ball State on the bars, Eastern Michigan on the floor, and Central Michigan on the beam.
So kicking things off here on beam is Melee Vanderbeek. This is her very first time in the lineup this season.
Very confident.
Yeah, she's got the facials going on, love it. Her series, back handspring, layout step out, beautifully done. Wow. Her career high on this event is a 9.85, obviously did that last season. Cat lead to side aerial. Looks like she was maybe a tad bit off on that, but squared her hips and kept herself on the beam. Just the dismount left, round off, and a tucked half. Oh, not exactly what she wanted to do on that landing. Looks like she surprised herself a little bit, but hey, I mean, it's her first time back in the lineup in a very long time, so just got to get the nerves out.
First time anybody's seen Melee Vanderbeek this season, and that's how they get it started on the beam. And now we're looking at Eastern Michigan on the floor.
So this is Carly Kasanovic. Her second pass, 1.5 twist, punch front. A little bit bouncy on that landing. But she's been a consistent part of the lineup this season. That's Josephine Thomas over on vault. Pretty good vault. Maybe needed a little bit more height in the air. Carly was in the exhibition spot a lot last season, so it's nice to see her so consistently in the lineup and doing such a good job this season. Last pass, double tuck, chest down low on that landing, but pretty good routine to get them going over on floor.
For Western on the vault, Ronnie Binstock with a 9.8 already in, and now we're looking at Ball State on the bars. 9.825 for Nychek to start it off.
This has been a pretty good routine so far. Oh, now we're switching over to vault, Western Michigan, Stacey Harrison. Lots of amplitude on that vault. Back to bars, the dismount, tucked full in, came off the bar a little bit early, it looked like, and kind of came low in on that landing.
The score for Vanderbeek on the beam for Central Michigan, an 8.975. So now, with their backs against the wall, trying to make that the one they drop.
That's definitely a tough position to be in. Obviously, beam's a very nerve-wracking event, and it's an event that Central's kind of struggled a little bit with this season. Definitely striving to have a little bit more consistency, fewer wobbles, and obviously no falls. Can't have that at the MAC championships next week. So really want to focus on finishing this rotation strong. The pressure's on for the rest of the lineup.
Well, this on the beam, Amber Mueller for Central Michigan. And we've talked about it briefly before, but getting up there after you watch your teammate not stick a landing like that, get a score below a 9, how tough is it to get up there and show out?
It's very tough. Yeah, obviously your team doesn't want to count a fall, so to have that in your very first leadoff spot, it kind of puts the pressure on everybody else to hit their routine. They really got to be confident and focused when they go up there, but she's doing a pretty good job here. Maybe just a couple little things here and there, but gets stuck landing on that dismount. Once you have a hit routine under your belt, hopefully that kind of gets the momentum going for the rest of the lineup. To see your teammates hitting their routines kind of inspires you to go up and hit as well.
Eastern Michigan on the floor. Kasanovich, 9.825 to start it off.
Pretty good, really solid start. This is Raisa Boris, second pass, 1.5 punch front. I was watching out of the corner of my eye. She did her first pass. I believe she went out of bounds with both feet, kind of had a little bit too much power on that. Looking to finish strong here. Double top, and a pretty good landing. Chest was low on that, but she'll take it.
Now we're looking at Western Michigan on the vault. 9.8 and a 9.725, 9.898 to start.
This is Peyton Murphy. She's got a huge vault, lots of power on that. Pretty big hop back on that landing. It's going to be at least a 10th deduction, probably a little bit more, I'd say. But such a dynamic vault.
Western Michigan with just one more on the vault to go, and they'll make sure to get their rest before this rotation is over.
The score up for Mueller for CMU is a 9.9. So pretty impressive. You have a fall, next girl goes up, gets a 9.9. Now they just need to keep that momentum going. Now
it's Ashley Veglucci to keep it going. So from an 8.975 to a 9.9 between Vanderbeek and Mueller. And now Veglucci will try to keep it going.
Series back handspring to a 2 feet layout. Very nicely done. A little bit of bent knees on that series. That's a place that the judges could deduct from. Side saw me, and her foot slipped. Yeah, she's gonna take a minute there and regroup. That probably hurt a little bit too. It looks like her stomach kind of hit the beam on her way down. And I believe we just saw Carissa Ludwig on vault. And a double twist to finish that routine. So CMU is gonna have to count a fall. It's definitely not what they were looking for. This is Shannon Gregory for Eastern Michigan on the floor. From what I've seen, she has a pretty good routine going so far. This is going to be her third pass. Round up by handspring, double tuck, and she's out of bounds. Saw that foot go over that yellow tape. It's a 10th deduction.
Right there at the end, too, and you could tell she knew it. Tough to see at home because of that score graphic at the bottom, but it was out there at the end for Eastern Michigan. 9.825 for Kasanovich. Boris with a 9.65 to get it started on the floor for Eastern Michigan. Ball State on the bars. Nychik with a 9.825. Ruthberg with a 9.775. Hudson 9.825, and now it's Teeter.
Doing an excellent job on hitting the handstands. The judges want to see you take it right up on top of the bar just like that. Giant full. So well done. Double tuck. Step back on the landing, but that was a pretty good routine. Now CMU is going to look to Hannah Demers to get that momentum going again over here on beam.
A 9.275 for Viglucci as well, so still dropping that score from Vanderbeek at the moment. And Demers gets a chance to go.
And a front aerial, backhand spin layup step out. Just a little bit off on that. Was a little bit slow on the connection as well. She's supposed to connect the front aerial to the backhand spin layup step out. So really nice position there on the leaps. Judges are looking for that 180-degree split. They want to see your legs make a perfect line in the air. She's doing a really good job. And a very pretty front aerial to scale. Overturned the full turn just a tad. But an excellent routine so far. Dismount with the side aerial. Layout full. Pretty good job. This is Hayden Crossan for EMU. A little bit of an awkward landing there. Good amplitude on the jumps. Last pass, round up backhand spring, double tuck, great finish. Excellent routine for Hayden.
Well, so far for Eastern on the floor, a 9.825, a 9.650, and then a 9.2. Should be a good score for Crossan there coming up for the Eagles. They've got themselves in a pretty decent position moving forward.
Takachev there, a little bit low. Would like to see her get a little bit more height on that. Down to the low bar with the pack salto. Caught a little bit close. See her arms about when she caught. But doing a good job of keeping the rhythm of this routine going. Finishes with a really high tuck full in and gets the stuck landing. This is Sierra DeMarinis. Solid on her series. Backhand spin layup step out. She's following the 9.85 from Demers. So with the exception of the two falls, they've had some really nice routines. Front aerial to a beat jump. Very nicely done. Once the finish drawn here, get a stuck landing. Round off 1.5 twist. A little bit too much momentum going forward on that dismount. Did take the step forward, but a hit routine.
The score for Demers before her, a 9.850. Ball State done on the vaults. Excuse me, Western done on the vaults. Ball State now done on the bars.
This is Kara Roberts on the floor for Eastern Michigan. Has posted a 9.9 so far this season. That's her career high. 1.5 twist to punch front. Beautifully done. Finishes with a front handspring rooting to the split jump. Good finish.
Now to Morgan Tong on the bars. Had major success in her time at Central Michigan on the bars this early in her career.
Yeah, this is definitely her standout event. Has a career high of 9.9. She did that last season and has done that this season as well. So CMU is going to be looking for a number like that right here, right now. Really solid on her series. Full turn. Beautifully done. Well, it's been a good routine so far. Side aerial, layup full, and a stuck landing. That's going to be a big score.
Well, the Chippewas needed that after a tough start on the bars with an 8.975 from Vanderbeek, a 9.275 from Beglucci. But it looks like it will be a good closeout from Morgan Tong.
When she finished that routine, her teammates were flashing 10s with their fingers. They want to see a 10. Now this is Jada Rondu for EMU to close things out. I love this routine for Jada. Great choreography, great music. She's a fierce competitor. She's going to open with a double tuck. Perfect landing on that. Second pass, 1.5 twist punch front. Beautiful landing on that. And great form in the air. Sometimes when gymnasts do twisting elements, they cross their feet in the air, but that's no issue for Jada. She did a beautiful job on that. Looks comfortable and confident out there. Has an excellent routine going so far. Rudy to a straddle jump. Perfect routine. I have a feeling that's going to be a really big score. I didn't see much wrong with that. The highest score so far for them over on floor is a 9.85. I think she may eclipse that.
Oh, radiating confidence on the floor, and now back to the beam where there's an exhibition with Adriana Bustelo. Last score we're awaiting in this third rotation from Jada Rondu, who we just watched put out a great performance on the floor.
Good routine here going on beam. 1.5 twist for the dismount. A little bit under rotated. Took the hop back. But a good way to get her confidence up on this event.
Exhibition on the floor for Eastern Michigan. And a Grace McCullough.
She's exhibitioned a few times on this event this season, so they're definitely trying to get her consistency down, get her confidence up on this event. And I think the goal for them would be to have her contribute in the lineup next season. She's a beautiful gymnast, a little bit taller of a gymnast as well. Double pike. Went out of bounds on that. She didn't get the rotation that she needed or the height to pull it around. Legs a little bit low on the jumps. I mentioned it over on beam. The judges are looking for that 180-degree split. Also want to see lots of amplitude. So it's maybe an area that she can improve a little bit. But loving this routine, great choreography. Coach Katie Minnesola helps with their choreography. Last tumbling pass, punch front to a Rudy, and an excellent finish on that one. Good job for Anna Grace.
Well, that will finish our third rotation here from McGurk Arena. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back on the other side, the final rotation right here on CMUChippewas.com. Welcome back to McGurk Arena. The fourth rotation is upon us in this quad meet between Eastern, Western, Ball State, and Central. Bradley Edwards, Ashley Bueller here with you on CMUChippewas.com. Now, you look at that last rotation, Ashley, Central Michigan, not their best performance of the season on the bars, but still some great things to look at.
Yeah, I mean, they had 2 falls, but other than that, the rest of the lineup was really solid. They had Mueller and Taun with 9.9s, Demarinis 9.875, and Demers 9.85. So I look at that and I think that if they can eliminate those falls, that's going to be a huge score for the team, and that's exactly what they're going to want next weekend at the MAC championship. So something positive to take away from it. They have a lot of talent on that beam, and just gotta get the nerves out, I think, and get a little more consistency. But if they can erase those falls, I think they're looking pretty good over there.
And in terms of the team scores after the third rotation, it's Eastern Michigan leading the field with a 147.1. Ball State right behind them, 147.050. Then Central Michigan with a 146.9, and then Western Michigan with a 146.350. And it's been an interesting meet for everyone. I think each team has kind of had their ups and downs, and now Central Michigan moves to one of their strengths on the floor.
It's definitely going to be a close one coming into this last rotation. So each of these teams is going to be looking to have their best performances. Front double full to open it up on floor.
And good to see Veglucci back out there too after a pretty hard fall on the beam. Spoke with the trainers for a few minutes and to now back out here for the floor exercise.
Good to see that she's okay, and then also hopefully not her confidence shaken up too much. She's usually pretty solid on this event. 2.5 twist punch front, very clean, really quick twister too. Drawn her team to get them going over on floor.
Now Ball State on the beam. It's Olivia Ostendorf.
And she did have a fall already, so kind of what we saw on beam for Central Michigan, starting the rotation off with the falls. Not an easy thing. Definitely going to put a little bit of pressure on her teammates, but still wants to finish this routine strong because there's a possibility they may still have to counter depending on what happens with her teammates following her. So finishes off the routine well, 1.5 twist.
Now you can see Nora Fettinger waiting for that score from Veglucci on the floor to get going. Pretty much every team waiting for scores all around here in this fourth rotation.
It's not too often in a quad meet where you see nobody competing. Usually there's always somebody going. So this is going to be Jada Rondu on vault for Eastern. We're going to see what vault she does. She's capable of doing a Yurchenko full, sometimes just does the layout. Sometimes gets a little bit in her head on this vault. There she goes for the full, and a beautiful vault. Good job for Jada. Small hop on that landing, but man, she's got to be excited with that one.
And that comes after a 9-7 put up by Callie Harden to get the vault started for Eastern Michigan. So they're off to a good start and already starting this rotation in the lead.
Second pass here for Fettinger. 2.5 twist, punch front. Great job on that. See the fire up chips there, choreographed into every routine. And a bounce back on that double top. But still a solid hit routine.
Now Western Michigan on the bars. Ronnie Binstock went first, received an 8.950, and now it's Petrosic.
Has a good routine going so far. Giant full, finished that right on top of the bar. Beautifully done. Double pike dismount, don't see that too often. Gets the stuck landing too. Good routine.
The score for Veglucci on the floor, a 9.875 for the Chippewas. 9.225 for Ostendorf, the first score on the beam for Ball State. 9.7, 9.825, 9.75 on the vault to start off for Eastern Michigan.
This is Molly Paris. She has a big vault. Some of the best vaulters in the nation, you'll see they get a good push off the table and they really rise before they start the twist. Molly does a great job there. Just a small hop on the landing. Sydney Williams over on the floor. Really fun choreography. Front fold punch front. Lots of energy in this routine, a little bit of sass as well. You know, floor is all about the performance. Of course, you got your tumbling and the jumps. It's all a part of the score, but the performance is another important aspect of floor as well, and Sydney is a natural performer out there. You see her teammates having fun with her on the sidelines. Finishes with a sky-high double tuck. Strong finish. Should be a good number.
And a decent amount of fans inside McGurk Arena this afternoon, and they loved that performance by Sydney Williams.
And it's nice to have fans in here, too. That's something that, you know, as the season has gone on, we haven't seen that many fans in attendance at meets, so I'm sure they're loving that here, and it brings a little bit more energy to their performances, I think.
Well, especially one of the last ones before the MAC championships as well.
Eastern Michigan is celebrating a big vault from Hayden Crossan. Got a stuck landing.
A 9.925 for Crossan on the vault.
And that is big. The vault only starts out of a 9.95, so the judges found a quarter tenth. Very small deduction, and that also means one judge gave her a perfect score.
No score on the vault for Eastern Michigan below a 9.7 through the first five.
Now this is Peyton Murphy on the bars, doing a good job hitting the handstands. It's interesting, her coach standing right there, goes for the dismount, flyway 1.5 twist, very nicely done. It looked like when she was on the low bar, the coach touched her, which isn't allowed, so we'll have to see if that reflects in the score. He may not have touched her, it's kind of hard to tell from the angle, but that's something to look for in the score. So this is Kara Roberts. Now she warmed up your Yurchenko 1.5 twist, landed it very well, and she goes for it. Oh. A little bit of a scary landing. It is nice to see her upgrade the vault and going for the difficulty, but kind of came in locked right down that landing. A little bit scary.
Well, with how that rotation's gone for Eastern Michigan, you have a little bit of leeway to go for some of those harder ones. Like I mentioned before that, just a 9.7, the lowest in that rotation.
Yeah. It's nice to have some hit routines ahead of you, because that way if you want to throw a new skill, you kind of have that safety net.
Now on the floor with Central Michigan, Hannah Demers.
Hannah's another really great performer on this event. Is the MAC Gymnast of the Week for the second time this season. Posted a career high on floor last weekend, 9.925. I love the little nuances of this routine. Great musicality. Hits every beat. Last pass, punch front to a Rudy, and a beautiful landing. It's going to be a big score. Finishes with a crown on top of her head. She's pumped, as she should be.
She knew it right when she landed. You could see the look on her face when she turned to the judges.
This is Bree Sloanum on beam for Ball State. So they had a fall in the leadoff spot, and they're bouncing back pretty well. A little bit off on that full turn. Did a good job of not coming off the beam. Fighting for every 10th, double twist. Looks a little bit disappointed.
And she looked like she had some discomfort in the middle of that routine as well, and immediately walks over to the trainers.
Hopefully she's okay.
Yeah, never like to see that. And you could see there was something in the middle of that routine that definitely threw her through a loop.
Yeah, and you could see it right in her face too.
Well, and here's one of the more exciting ones on the floor for Central Michigan. We saw inside McGurk Arena earlier this season, a 9.95.
Yeah, but she got a 10 from one of the judges, so great to see. Huge double pike to open the routine.
Taylor Pitchell, Sierra DeMarinis, extremely good on the floor this year for Central Michigan.
Great amplitude on the jumps. Second pass, punch front, front full. A little bit of a step forward on the landing. Won't be too big of a deduction, maybe a half 10. Really fun choreography. Pretty sure she just made eye contact with the judge too, like before she goes for that last pass. Very confident. And a perfect landing on that double top. I have a feeling that's going to be another big number for them on floor. So this is Arden Hudson. Such a beautiful gymnast. She has great toe point, really nice lines. Set the school record on beam this season, 9.925. A little bit off on that side aerial back handspring step out, but danced right out of it, trying to disguise the landing. Chest dipped a little bit there. Goes for the dismount, side aerial to lay up full, and drills that landing.
Now to Western Michigan on the bars.
Just did a ginger for her single bar release move. You see her legs came apart a little bit, and she caught the bar, but really nice handstand there on that bail.
This is Alexis Oliver, one of the last two to go for Western.
And a flawless handstand pirouette into a double top Dixie stuck landing. Pretty good routine. This is DeMarinis over on floor. Sky high double top. So much power on that. And she has been so good for CMU on this event this season. Hasn't gone below 9.825, so really consistent. Second pass, 1.5 twist, punch front. CMU's got great music on the floor as well. Really energizes the team, I think. Looking to finish strong here. Last tumbling pass, round off right handspring, double pike. Very clean landing. Didn't give a whole lot for the judges to take away on that. Gonna be looking forward to seeing that score because I think it's gonna be a big one.
Well, Taylor Pitchell with a 9.875 for Central Michigan on the floor. They're just awaiting the score for DeMarinis.
This This is Stacy Harrison over on bars for Western. Did a Jaeger, not gonna do an overshoot. And she has a really difficult dismount. We've seen a couple gymnasts do the double layup, but she adds a full twist to it. And a beautiful landing on that. Love that she's doing that difficulty. She doesn't necessarily need to do it, but taking a little bit of risk and like to see it. This is Taylor Waldo on beam. Something interesting about her on this event is she only does front elements. She doesn't do a back handspring or anything that goes backwards. Had a scary fall when she was younger and just doesn't like flipping backwards. So she's kind of modified her routine a little bit to be able to start from a 10.0 and only do forward facing elements. Tucked 1.5. Pretty good routine.
Well, still waiting for two scores to end this rotation. A couple exhibitions coming up, but
CMU was lights out on floor. Huge scores. They went 49-5-2-5. That's definitely a season high.
They're dropping a 9-8 from Nora Fettinger at this point. 9-8, 7-5, 9-8, 9-9, 9-9-5, 9-8, 7-5, and a 9-9-2-5. All great scores for Central Michigan.
Huge scores. That's the kind of rotation that you'd see some of the best teams in the nation putting up performances like that.
Well, if you ask Coach McDonald for the Chippewas, she said that the floor has been the most of pleasant surprises this season, and you can see why.
Really nice double tuck to open up there. Pretty good control on that landing. Bounce back on that second tumbling pass. So this is just an exhibition. So just looking to get out there, get a routine under her belt. A little bit short on that last pass. But what a day for Central Michigan.
So still waiting on that score for Waldo on the beam for Ball State. Other than that, everything else in. Now watching an exhibition on the beam from Lauren Volpe.
Dismount, side aerial, layout full. Nice stuck landing to finish off that routine.
Well, Lauren Volpe ends it with a nice landing for Ball State, and still waiting for that final score to officially be put in for Ball State, and then that about wraps it up for us this afternoon.
Lots of exciting gymnastics here today, and with MAC championships coming up next week, I'm pretty excited. EMU, that's a season high, first time for them going over 196 this season, and for CMU, that's their season high, back-to-back weeks. They put up the same score, 196-425, so it's going to be a really interesting battle for that MAC title next weekend, but looking forward to seeing it.
So the scores as they stand right now: 196-425 for CMU, 194-425 for Ball State. Eastern Michigan, as Ashley just mentioned, over 196 for the first time this season with a 196-1. And Western Michigan, a team score of 194-5. Good showing for all schools this afternoon.
I've been so impressed this season with everybody in the MAC. Everyone's kind of stepping up their game this season. And in a year that has been just so crazy, so much going on, preseason was different than any season we've ever seen before. So it's nice to see them coming out here and having such great performances throughout the whole season.
Well, less meets, less time to get ready for MAC championships, regionals, everything like that. And still that score from Taylor Waldo not officially in on our scoreboard, but the 196.425 from CMU, not the day they wanted on the beam, but the floor really gave them some great numbers.
Yeah, they bounced back really strong, and I think that's going to give them all the confidence that they need heading into next weekend.
Well, and it looks like the judges conferencing about that last score for Waldo for Ball State.
So when you see judges conferencing, that usually means that there was a discrepancy between the two scores because there's two judges, so they're not allowed to discuss the deductions or, you know, what they got as their final score, but they're able to discuss the start value of the routine and make sure that they're judging the routine off the same starting value. So that's probably what they're discussing right now, just making sure they have the right start value, and then they can come up with that final score. They're keeping us in suspense.
They really are. It's been an exciting day, and I'm sure these fans just waiting for that one final score. Handful of fans sitting behind us in the stands in McGurk who got a good showing from 4 different MAC schools this afternoon.
I think I said it right off the top. There's always so much more energy when you have a quad meet. Obviously, you got the 4 teams out there, but all the fans that come with them. So it's nice to have that this season when we haven't had as many fans as there normally would be. Gives the meet a little bit more energy, and that's exactly how it's going to be next weekend at MAC Championships.
Fans on and off this season for pretty much all sports, especially around here in the Midwest. Fans back in the stands currently and still waiting for that final score to be put up. So still awaiting that final score. We'll get that to you, and then we'll get you on your way. It's the only thing we're missing, the last routine for Ball State on the beam. It was Taylor Waldo.
And I mentioned as she was going, she only does front elements, so it's possible that that's what they're talking about, because there's a certain number of requirements that you have to have on beam, and a series where you're tumbling backward is actually a requirement. So they probably, one of the judges messed up her start value. Either they didn't see her do a skill or she missed a connection. It's a little bit funky when you kind of change the composition of your routine. Definitely is doing it a little bit different than how any other gymnast in the NCAA is doing it.
That final score in for Taylor Waldo, a 9.825, and that will do it for us from McGurk Arena. Final scores of the teams one last time. Central Michigan, a 196.375, or Ball State 195.50, 196.1 for Eastern Michigan, and a 195 for Western. Thanks for joining myself, Riley Edwards, Ashley Bueller along with me, and the rest of the crew inside McGurk Arena. I'd like to say have a nice evening, and as always, fire up chips.